Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below. Your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see here on our channel, our website, or our social media. Reach out to me directly, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. Collectors of independent high horology know that the name Gronefeld stands shoulder to shoulder with the giants of the industry. Dufour, Voutilanen, Smith, Jorn, Gronefeld of the Netherlands belongs in that company. Frankly, both of them belong in that company, as you are getting the horological brothers, plural, when you buy a Gronefeld watch. And this, the Principia 1941, launched in late 2018, was their first ever automatic watch. Beautifully sized, and really sized to stand the test of time, at 39.5 millimeters in stainless steel. You can see the watch is also quite slim, at 10.4 millimeters thick, and from lug to lug, 46.8 millimeters, with a 20 millimeter spacing between the lugs. Now let's throw it on my wrist real quick and take a look at how it fits. With the short lug-to-lug span and the lugs themselves being rather short, tightly downturned and stubby, this is a watch that'll wear well on a wrist as small as 13 to 13.5 centimeters circumference. So if you want a power watch, you don't necessarily have to have a power wrist to pull it off. The timepiece wears easily, comfortably, and lighter than a conventional independent high horology watch, as so few independent houses are willing to work in steel and titanium. The watch wears beautifully and would wear beautifully underneath the cuff, though this is not the type of watch to disappear underneath a sleeve. You might notice that the strap is a bit unconventional. Taking a look at the hardware and the software, this is blue python scale leather. So you've got your python, which has a wonderful color gradient and frankly a prickly, almost cactus-like feel. The texture is unique. You'll also note that there's a lot of leather here. It features a sheer side showing you the layers of construction, and then you can see on the underside, this is a brand new Gronefeld factory strap, nicely made with calfskin on the underside, and as you can see, nothing left to chance in Holland, with even the pin buckle itself thoroughly styled to be anything but a default design. And note the parallelism between the shape of the lugs and the shape of the buckle. Everything has been thought out thoroughly. Now the lugs are unusual. As you can see, they are a combination of angles and curves, concave and convex shapes. You can even see that the flank of the case is nicely evacuated to give a third dimension that's not normally part of watch design. These evacuated lugs creating a highly individualist style that at the same time doesn't feel idiosyncratic. You can see the conical and deeply knurled crown, everything of high polish. You'll also note the fact that the bezel itself is anything but a simple ring, as there's a little bit of a flared plinth, and you can see that at both 12 and 6 o'clock, so a lot of visual nuance here. In profile, the bezel is slightly concave and mirrored like a Patek Philippe. The dial is made of sterling silver, and you will note the timepiece is classically beautiful with a no-date layout, the sterling silver base, a slightly gray anodized coloration over the precious metal base. You have fired blue hands at center, and they are fired steel alpha style hands. Also note that the indices themselves are not just applique, but individually hand finished, black polished and faceted. So even the dial of this watch is a precious metal work of art. If you look carefully, you can see there are polished chapter rings for both the sub-seconds as well as the inner step of the dial. So a good deal of nuance here too. Tim and Bart build watches that are simple, but not overly so. God is always in the details. The watches are they are never facile and overly simplified. And the same is true of the movement. Taking a quick look at the caliber, you can see that the architecture itself is beautiful, with the train being laid out to open up the movement for your viewing pleasure. But there's also an awful lot to love technically. You can see there's a full balance bridge with a free-sprung index for shock resistance. The 31 jewel movement is automatic winding with ceramic rotor bearings and unidirectional action. The unidirectional action meaning it is a more efficient winder, the ceramic rotor bearings increasing efficiency but also decreasing maintenance needs. This beats away at 21,600 vibrations per hour with a 56-hour power reserve, and as you can see, it is adjusted in 6 positions, not the chronometer and high horology standard of 5, so giving deviation no position in which to hide. The watch keeps excellent time in every orientation. 30 meters water resistant, so okay, it's not a sports watch, but it is a sporty watch with many unconventional and brand distinctive styling traits. Let's take a look at the basics. As you can see, there are multiple types of finish, polishing, satination, as well as a frosted graining on the rotor. You'll see that all of the screw heads are black polished, and you'll note there's a frosting on every bridge with a sort of raised channel on the side. It's not a channel because it's not a recess, but there is a raised platform on the edge of every bridge that's been satinated and brushed, and then on the edge, outboard of the satin section, there is mirrored anglage that is a mile wide. These brothers, Tim and Bart, and they have a long history in the industry dating to Audemars Piguet Renault et Papy, where they worked on finishing. Today, reportedly, they still do finishing of components for APRP, and their virtuosity in that art shows through. You can also see satination of the wheels, so it's not just anglage, it's not just graining, it's not just brushing, it's not just black polish. There is a lot going on, and no detail is overlooked, right down to the stippling or engine turning of the base plate. The use of stainless steel for the bridges also stands out, as it is a remarkably hard material and difficult to work. Open, beautiful, and of course very rare. This movement makes the watch special, but not exclusively. Everything from the buckle itself to the python strap to the custom dial. Yes, the movement, but also the case, the holistic effect of this watch is singular, brand distinctive, and best in the world. Email tmosso@thewatchbox.com to get into one of the best independents of our time.